Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll talk about women's red flags. In my opinion, the worst red flag on a woman is if she's a frog. When I say frog, I mean girls who aren't attractive. How a woman looks is the most important attribute that she can have. Of course, there's other things that matter, if she respects you, if she has low body count, if she's young, and so on. But her looks and her age, I think, are the most important things. Because this gives you status as a man if you roll in a venue with a woman that's super attractive. Also from a sexual standpoint, if the woman is attractive, she turns you on, you have sex often, and the whole vibe is better. The third aspect is that women who look good bring a good vibe. These fat chicks, these girls who aren't that attractive, they're frustrated inside. They have like this hidden resentment towards beautiful women. So in my opinion, it's better if you have a beautiful woman alongside you. I don't like associating myself with ugly women. Probably if you follow my content on social media, you saw that I'm always surrounded by girls who are attractive. So for me, this is the biggest red flag, if a woman is not attractive. The second red flag I want to talk about is women who take drugs. Women who take drugs aren't trustworthy, they're shit. Drugs comes with being a whore. Every woman who takes drugs has done one-night stands, has been around shady people, has been to all these festivals, parties, listening to bullshit music, satanic music. So yeah, you can have fun with girls who take drugs or took drugs in the past. You can have sex, you have one-night stands, they can come to your parties, but I don't believe being around these women long-term for months and even years will benefit you. I met throughout my whole experience a lot of girls who took drugs because nowadays, unfortunately, in Europe especially, probably in the United States as well, hot girls who are super attractive, most of them, they like drugs and they like all this lifestyle. Because hot girls have been around rich guys. A lot of rich guys sniff cocaine, take ecstasy, all this bullshit. So all these girls who felt like 10 out of 10 because they've been to the best places, took drugs there, and the high was so big, they will feel bored if they watch a movie or if they sit in the house. They get accustomed to the lifestyle of always going out, of always having fun. So I remember this girl, she was super attractive, but she simply could not abstain from this lifestyle of what she was basically doing was she was smoking weed from Monday to Friday, and then from Friday to Monday she was sniffing cocaine, going to parties. She didn't want to stay at home, so we couldn't have a relationship. Although she was hot, she was young. And this example, I lived it like 10-20 times probably with girls I liked for sex. They were fun, but I couldn't have like a serious relationship because they were obsessed with drugs and with the high life, let's say, this life of like hedonism, of like going out and so on. The third thing I want to talk about is girls who are peasants and lived in severe poverty. For a man, poverty is okay. I lived in poverty. I was broke as a kid. I was living in this 50 square meter apartment. My parents were normal people. They were never entrepreneurs. But I think as a man, it builds up your character and it makes you hustle. It makes you sharp. It makes you the type of person who finds solutions. But for a girl, it's bullshit because if she lives in poverty, she will develop as a frustrated person, a person who had all these bullshit experiences, who's been damaged mentally in her childhood. Men and women, in my opinion, are different. If I was broke and I seen all this bullshit, the downsides of not having money, it made me more ambitious, it made me hustle harder, it made me take risks. Most of the women I know who are in severe poverty, they just ended up whores. People will fuck them for, not in their childhood, in their teenage years, people will fuck them because they had a nice car, they were like easily impressed by this, easily impressed by traveling. I prefer a girl who had a little bit of money, her parents took her certain places, she went to vacations, she's seen different places with her mom and dad. I remember this girl I used to fuck, she was so broke that basically she couldn't even afford an Uber, and like guys were taking advantage of her. They were like saying to her, yeah, stay in my house tonight, I'll drive you tomorrow, and she was saying, no, I would like to go home. No, stay here, we'll party. And she was like forced to accept these compromises from guys. She had like 30-40 bodies and she always depended on guys to drive her, didn't have money. Just be with a girl who had a normal childhood, who was like middle class or a little bit above, not like some broke peasant. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is girls with a shady past. When you have a relationship with a girl, make sure you gather as much information as possible about her past, because her past can ruin your reputation going forward. So you don't want to be the guy who's in a relationship with a girl who had like one night stands, who's been mistreated by others, had toxic boyfriends, who's been a sex worker. If a woman is damaged mentally, it's harder for her to love you. So I believe that if a woman had like a toxic boyfriend before you, all the things that these guys did on her, all the manipulation tactics, all the times they made her cry, she will use that anger on the next man she has a relationship with. This happened for me as well, because I'm not gonna lie to you, with some girls, maybe I was cheating too much, maybe I didn't treat them like perfectly. What I noticed is when they had other relationships, they were using all the mind tricks I used on them, on those guys. You have to make an analysis based on this. Now you can ask me like, yeah bro, but how do I know? Well, to be honest, women tell you this if you know how to put the right questions. So what you should do when you date a girl is never judge her. Never be the type who's judgmental, who says all this masculine red pill stuff. No, I want a feminine woman, blah blah, all these things. Keep it for yourself and try to be non-judgmental and try to be playful and find things. Be a little bit of a snake. So what I do, I go on a date and I say to the girl like, yeah, you seem too boring, you seem the type who never takes drugs. I don't think you're a good match, you bore me. What girls will say will be something in terms of, yeah, I used to take drugs in the past, but now I don't take drugs anymore. If they say this, it's clear that in the past they were taking drugs. And they will talk. 90% of the times, girl will talk, because most guys don't really care. These are ones of the top red flags that annoy me when it comes to women. Her being a frog. The second thing, drugs. Third thing, severe poverty. Fourth thing, shady past. And fifth thing, the family. I prefer a woman who had like a normal family, traditional family, not some absent father, dead father. This is kind of bullshit for me. Namaste.